Hey guys, welcome to Dreams to Reality podcast. My name is Bishar, and along with me are Abdirihaman and Amin. This is our first ever podcast and first ever episode. So we'll talk a little bit about what we want to do with the podcast. And to talk a little bit about that, the reason why we started this podcast is to inspire the youth with meaningful conversations about technology, entrepreneurship, and chasing your dreams in general. So we'll talk a lot about the journey, the ups and downs, and we'll have guests in here for you to relate to so that you can get their input as well, because we're going to be giving our input on it on every single episode. So I'll go ahead and let Abdirihaman and Amin introduce themselves. Then I'll go ahead and introduce myself, and then we'll take it from there. Thank you, guys.
Hey, my name is Abdirihaman. I'm one of the co-hosts on this podcast. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. Born and raised in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm a software developer and test at a software company in Minneapolis itself. That's where I spend mostly my 9 to 5s Monday to Friday. Outside of that, I work with, the community itself and give pro bono work by giving my skill sets, which is software and coding. So I build websites for people, basically people of my community, the Somali people who usually don't have that much capital to spend on the company, but want to go and take their company to the internet, where they can expand it. And that's where usually most companies are at today. And that's what I do over there. And during quarantine, my friend over here, Bishar, introduced me to the stock market. He himself being a modest investor, I went under his wing and I learned a little bit about investing. And it's been a journey itself. It's a little bit tough, a lot of graphs, a lot of numbers, but eventually you make money.
That's true. I'll jump in there. My name's Amin. Just like Abdirihaman, I'm a corporate man. I work as a business analyst, also for a software company during the 9 to 5 time. But outside of that, I really enjoy spending time with my friends and family and sort of educating myself on the world and what's going on around me in my backyard especially. I'm really fond of learning and just using that education and that experience to sort of make my decisions and judgments in the world. And it really helps when it comes to trading. Outside of those things, I see myself just progressing through my career, learning as much as I can and sort of making my way up the ladder as far as I can, but also finding a way to make a difference in the world is very important to me. But I can't do that without learning and gaining experience and exposure to things that I normally wouldn't go out of my way to learn, or other people wouldn't go out of their way to learn, right? That's the key to differentiate yourself. But outside of that, I spend some time with my friends. These guys are very much my friends, but also just learning is key. And so that's why I joined this podcast, to gain exposure, share knowledge, and to network.
Yes, sir. Yeah, networking is definitely going to be one of the bigger takeaways from this podcast, because your network is your net worth. And from the name, Dreams to Reality, in order to build that dream, you need a network of individuals that are behind you. To tell you guys a little bit about networking before I introduce myself and how important it is. A few years back when I was in college, I was speaking to a doctor about what made him want to be a doctor. And he was telling me how in his family, a Caucasian family, how they have individuals that are working in many different fields. And he was able to observe what they did throughout his life and then make the decision of becoming a doctor, right? Mm-hmm. So for us, as immigrants, first-generation immigrants, we do not have that. Our parents did, the harder jobs, the more hard labor jobs. And we're trying to move from that and, get into either corporate entrepreneurship, which is in our blood as Somali people. We're really good with entrepreneurial adventures, right? So, so entrepreneurship ties in with networking, your net worth, and anything that you're looking to do, whether it's entrepreneurship, technology, whatever you're looking to get into. But to introduce myself, once again, my name is Bishar. I am from Minneapolis, just like these guys. I was not born here. I came here when I was about 10 years old. Amin wasn't also born here. So that's something that we have a similarity in. Yeah, right.
I'm the only guy who was born here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He was a natural born U.S. citizen.
Yeah,
Hennepin County.
Hennepin County.
Shout out to
Medical Center.
HCMC.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you, HCMC, for producing this fine specimen of an individual. But yeah, so I am currently a student. I am studying cybersecurity, a master's in cybersecurity. I'm also an entrepreneur. I have an Amazon store where I share non-private label products. I also have other e-commerce channels like Shopify that I utilize to sell other products as well. I'm also a stock trader, so I'm involved in a lot of different things, and I'm involved in it with my friends. We're all like in a group chat as far as the stock market goes.
Oh, yeah.
Trading goes. Lionheart Investments. That's what we like to call ourselves in the group chat.
LLC.
Yep. And it's continuously expanding every day.
Hell yeah. Today we had one more person that got added onto it, and that's another friend of ours.
Correct.
He's been saying he's been interested, but he hasn't had the time. But now he has the time, so we added him so he can start learning, and then he'll take it from there, you know? But yeah, so in general, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm somebody who likes to adventure into different fields, understand different areas of study, or different areas of business. So other than that, other than my experience, which is what I bring along with me, we'll also have a guest here majority of the time. Today's the introduction, so that's why we don't have somebody here today. But in the future, we'll definitely have somebody here, and that person will also talk about a little bit about their experience, whether it's in whatever field they may be in, right? So that's where the inspiration comes from about and having meaningful conversations.
Correct. And it's sort of just walking through the steps of networking, right? We're going to display to you how we would go about learning a topic that is new to us or new to somebody else, right?
Yep.
And then just to learn and also give input, feedback, and also receive feedback and just share experiences. I think that's very important to move forward in life.
Yeah, so the guests we'll be having are going to share their experiences. And one thing that Bishar talked about earlier was like your network is your net worth. You know what I mean? And if you don't have the tools to build your network, you got the internet, you got social media. If you don't have that, you got us. We will build that network for you. We will give you the roadmap to that, not only through us, but through the individuals that join on and become guests on this podcast. And conversations always start at random places, places you wouldn't expect. Today I had a conversation at the sauna at a gym that I go to, locally in St. Paul, Lifetime Fitness. That's not a shameless plug at all. You know what I mean? But anyways, in that sauna, if I could have looked down on my phone, I would have, you know what I mean? But I took the time to talk to the individual that was sitting right next to me. The guy's name was Mike. He was a doctor. We talked about how his struggles were. He didn't have any struggles because he came from a generation of doctors. His father was a doctor. His grandfather was a doctor. His mother is a doctor. So this guy is already encompassed in an environment where he is breed for success. And that's what we're trying to do. We are first generation immigrants. We don't have that network. We have to go out of our way to go and,
build that network. Yeah,
basically.
Build that network. And our goal is not just to also build the network for ourselves, is also to show you guys what it takes to build the network. And majority of the time, it literally just takes the ability to speak to individual.
Or just start a conversation.
Yeah, or go up to somebody and just start a conversation. And that's something I feel like, our community has, but I feel like we lack confidence sometimes in actually doing it. Just going up to a random person and starting a conversation out of nowhere sometimes could be extremely hard for somebody. So we want to show you guys, what that looks like in real world by having people that we don't even know, but are doing things out there to reach their dreams. And that's what the podcast is about: is turning your dreams, your dreams into reality. Right. And that's it.
Yeah, and these people also inspire us. We hope you see the inspiration that they give upon us, and so. From there, we can share our knowledge and this experience to learn, because at the end of the day, going through that process and gaining that knowledge, that satisfaction that you receive at the end of that, I think far outweighs any sort of lack of courage you might experience or just fearfulness from interacting with that individual from the start. And so just stepping up, talking, it's as simple as that, right? And having that conversation will gain to so much. And so just take these steps, learn with us, and just be great.
Exactly.
All right, man. We want you guys to continue joining on this podcast. Subscribe, listen. We hope to give you as many advices, knowledge, secrets, all of the blueprints laid out for you. So please join in, and thank you for our introduction.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining our introduction.